Hello there, it's Riikka Kovasin here with my first video for ABstudio. As my first project, I'm making a mixed media tag. I'm starting with a chipboard tag base and coating it with double-sided adhesive. Then I add the pattern paper on top. The one I'm using is from Behind Closed Doors, not for all 12 by 12 sheet. I then trim excess off and add a little bit of white gesso on top. I'm using a palette knife to spread the medium and then use a heat tool to dry it. On top of gesso, I then make some layering. I'm using a medical cotton tape, which you can find in pharmacies, and adding some pieces of it on top. Then I use the protective sheet of the double-sided adhesive and smudge some distress inks on top, add a little bit of water, and then use that kind of as a stamp to add the color to my tag. This way I'm getting a random pattern and colors mix really nicely. I'm using two distress ink colors, Vintage Photo and Chipped Sapphire. When I then have the bigger color areas done, I'm also adding some splashes. After adding all the colors, I then dried my tag using a heat tool. I add one more flat layer before going to dimensional layering. That is using a stencil, and I'm inking with the blue ink through it. I'm also using the inks to ink the edges of my layering elements, the tag, some of the pattern papers using brown, and the flowers I'm adding later with the blue. The letter shaped elements are from Vintage Things 12 by 12 sheet, and the clocks I'm using a little bit later are the bonus sheet from Behind Closed Doors. The lady, on the other hand, is number 6 from Vintage Elements. I'm also adding some old dried tea bags to the layering. I really love the material. It's gauze-like and so delicate, so it goes nicely to any kind of vintage themed project. I use a stapler to adhere the layers together and then place them to my base using foam tape. When I then have the focal point adhered, I then add some embellishments. These are all cut from 12 by 12 sheets. I mainly use just a craft glue to adhere them, but use foam tape to some to make the composition more interesting and more dimensional. When I have all the elements adhered the way I want, I'm adding some white gesso splashes throughout the whole thing. To finish my tag, I'm adding a metal gear underneath all the layers and then some epoxy stickers, round ones, here and there. And then the tag is done. Here's a photo of the finished tag and some detail shots. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing. See you again. Bye!